Welcome, loyal fans. Today, we race the second race of the Manufacturers' Cup. Matt Armstrong was unavailable to host this race, so you will have to make do with me instead. In absence of Matt, I will take you through the details of the race, as we normally also do. This race takes place on the fictional Dragon Trail track located in Croatia, specifically the Gardens layout. As said in last race, we don't race in Group 4 cars this cup, so the Audi R8 will be used. Qualifying will last for 6 minutes here. The race is for a total of 20 laps. The racing medium and soft slicks are available to use. However, the race will start in the rain. There is no mandatory pit stop, but tire wear is set pretty high at 5 times. A pit stop is definitely needed. The race will start in some heavy rain, almost needing full wet tires. The track will first start to dry a bit until some new rain comes in for a little while. Due to the dry parts, the best strategy is to start on intermediates. After the second batch of rain, it will remain dry, and the track will start to dry out, needing slicks. Since the tire wear is too high, it is not viable to try and finish on intermediates without stopping. Around lap 11 or 12, the dry line should be clear, and the intermediates will quickly fall off. That is the point where the medium slicks should be used. The softs are not expected to be viable due to the high tire wear. Well, I think we are ready to go look at some actual racing now. First, let's take a look at the qualifying session. As you can see, qualifying is completely dry. The switch to a wet race after this is something that still catches some people off guard. We'll have to see if that is the case today as well. Not the best lap that was possible due to a dumb mistake in the second lap, and by the third lap, the tires were already too degraded to improve. Still, a pretty decent 5th place on the grid, and with some more pace in reserve, a good result should hopefully be possible. Let's see what the race brings. The Porsche in front turned out to be the only driver with a very unique strategy. He has chosen to start on the soft slick tires.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
did, in fact, not pay off for him. We can see that little mishap from the Porsche caused some blockage down the line, giving Dordanov some breathing room without immediate danger from behind. Looks like the Ferrari in front just remembered he has a meeting with Barry R.
I'll park there, mate.
And just like that, Dordanov already moved up to places from 5th to 3rd. Sometimes all you have to do is keep the nose pointed in the right direction to gain positions. Pace of the Ferrari in front is almost identical, and aside from a little yo-yo effect, nothing much will happen in this stint. Let's skip towards a bit of action.
Skip!
We jump towards the end of lap 10. The track is starting to dry up, and people might start thinking about switching to slicks. Dordanov has been cooling his intermediates offline regularly, so he might be able to hang on to them for a little while longer to minimize risk. And here we see both drivers in front of him decide to make the switch now. Dordanov decides to keep going for now, banking on the fact that one or both of them might make a mistake on the slicks. His intermediates are still good enough, and at the end, the Ferrari was sometimes holding him up. Hopefully this overcut can work versus him. The Mercedes behind has closed the gap though. He seems to have good pace in the drying conditions. Hopefully that won't become a problem. pace is still good and the dry line is still rather narrow. To mitigate further risk and give the overcut some extra chance to succeed, Dordanov will do one final lap on the intermediates. Here we go. Fingers crossed, the overcut on the Ferrari works. A fast stop will help with that.
Pit stop.
And it looks like it actually worked. Looking back at the replay, the Ferrari driver had a few corners where he went wide into the wet areas and lost quite a few seconds. First place seems to be pretty far out already, so for now the focus should be on defending that second place versus the Mercedes behind. Here we see the risk of slicks. Slightly offline in the wet will cost you a lot of time. The Mercedes is keen to profit and immediately makes the move. His best chances are now to quickly catch up to the Mercedes and see if he can pressure him into a mistake.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And that was the end of the Mercedes. Too eager to still get on the throttle on the wet curb, and he is off to the shadow realm. It seems first place is too far out to catch unless he makes a mistake. All that is left is try to stay out of trouble by driving safe and consistently. Let's see if he can do that to bring that second place home. So far, so good. All that is left is the final lap. The Frenchman in front was quite a bit faster, so pulled away to a big gap. The other Frenchman behind was driving similar pace, but already too far behind to cause any problems. So this should just be a leisurely drive to the finish line now. And there we have it. A very nice second place. The Frenchman in front was quite a bit faster, especially on slicks, so first place was out of reach anyway. Best of the rest is definitely a very nice result here. 157 points can be added to the total, which is a new personal high. That is a superb result altogether. The total standing will be shown at the end. When looking at the replay, there were a few situations that stood out, that all happened in the final two corners of the track. Let's take a look at those before we end this video. A textbook example of how not to overtake. Punch is showing his discontent by flashing his lights, and rightly so. It looks like he tried to force his way to that coveted 13th place by doing a massive dive bomb. Luckily, he only took himself out. This has no place in racing whatsoever. Here we followed the driver who started the race on slicks and span out. Massive props to him for not giving up and driving the entire first lap to the pits on slicks to be able to continue on intermediates. A lot of drivers would have just quit the race. He gets his brake marker wrong and taps the Mazda. Contrary to a lot of others, he shows great sportsmanship and waits up, letting the Mazda back in front. This is the kind of drivers we need more of. Hats off to you, good sir. Hopefully Matt will have returned to be your host by the next race. All that rests me to say now is, we will see you in the next one.